to another edition of Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Well, good morning, good day. Glad to have you aboard. Well, today's topic is going to feature around the New York Knicks, the NBA, and definitely the NFL, primarily the Cowboys. And yes, we're going to focus on last night's game as well. Well, let's get right to it. First of all, a win's a win. Yeah, I'm referring to the New York Knicks. A win is a win. I'll take them any way we can get them. However, it wasn't a win to be excited about. Dallas was depleted. It was missing its starting point guard and Darren Williams, and perhaps their all-time greatest player in history, team history, and Dirk Nowitzki. But nevertheless, you play who's in front of you. A lot of times, you get guys come off the bench, get some extra time, they scrap. They play for a role. They play to be recognized. They play to be noticed. And sometimes you'd be surprised. You're in a dogfight, even though a team could be without their star players. So good win by the Knicks. I saw something that Jeff Hornacek did in the second half that I don't know if he can go further doing that, and that's benching Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah did not play the whole second half. He went with a smaller lineup. And as a result of it, not only did he get the win, but he did get the best out of Justin Holiday. This was the Justin Holiday that many of us Knicks fans was hoping to see. He played extremely well. I think he had maybe a career high, but clearly a Knick high with 16 points. He was in the middle of things. He was scrappy. He was playing some defense. Just a good performance by him. Porzingis continued to impress as he had 24 points. The guy got to stay out of foul trouble. I mean, he's got to stay out of foul trouble. I think that's going to plague him. He's got to play defense with his feet, not with his hands. And Carmelo, he had 24 points as well. I'm going to have to call D-Rose out. D-Rose is playing in a contract year. When he was in Chicago last year, he was making comments at the podium talking about, with all this money being tossed around, my son's got to eat and this and that. D-Rose, I need you to step up, man. You're showing no signs of any effect from previous injuries. You seem like you're in the best of shape. But I need for you to step up. I don't need the MVP Derrick Rose, but I need the MVP like Derrick Rose. And I mean, on certain nights, you gotta play like an MVP or play like someone who can get MVP votes. I mean, having you scoring under 10 points, it's not why you're here, man. We need from you a minimum 16, 17 points a night with 8 assists. I mean, I don't want to be Donald Downer on a win, but the truth is the truth, man. We're going to go as far as you can take us. We need you. I mean, Brandon Jennings is here to back up, and he's a capable starter, but we need you to make this happen for this Knicks team. The more that you do, the less we'll see of that one-on-one isolations of Carmelo Anthony. Because at any given night, Carmelo can go for 40 in basketball in a way that today's basketball game is not played as much, or some of the fans don't desire. A lot of the fans don't want to see isolation, ISO Melo, one-on-one. Although he's effective and he can get it done, but a lot of fans don't want to see that. So we need for you to come out there and run this offense, run this team, get everybody involved, get yours as well, because on most nights there's not a guard that's going to be able to stop you. So we need that from you. All right, the bench, we're gonna just have to give it time. That's the bottom line. We're gonna have to give it time, or Hornacek goes to a rotation where at all times at least 2 starters is on the court with the bench, definitely 1 starter. So let's give the bench some time. Hopefully it come along. I mean, like I had mentioned once before, this team has 2 new bench players in Jennings and Holiday. And whether they dress or not, there's 5 rookies. And Baker, Kuz, Hergonomus, Plumlee, and Nador. So, I mean, there's a lot of new parts here. Maybe we just have to give it time to gel. Nevertheless, good win last night. if the Knicks had a loss last night, I wouldn't be wearing a hat, and I'll be talking something else. So kudos to the Knicks for getting the job done. Let's not celebrate. We got a task on the house ahead of us tomorrow night when Detroit comes to the Garden. In fact, I believe we owe Detroit a nice little spanking after they beat us by double digits out there in Detroit about 2 weeks ago. I do want to touch bases on Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson has the ability to opt out of his contract at the sometime during this season or at the end of the season. Phil, if you're listening to me right now, you have 12 million reasons to stay. But do me a favor. Opt out. Opt out. Opt out. You have caused more harm than you have caused good. Yeah, your biggest move is going to be the drafting of Porzingis. And I strongly, firmly believe that Porzingis was never your first choice. I think Porzingis fell into your lap and you had no choice to take a chance on him. There's no doubt in my mind that if you had the first pick or the second pick, you were going after Porzingis. No way I believe that. I cannot believe that. You said you was going to bring a championship. You was going to get a championship when you got to New York. Well, you did. The only problem is it happened in Cleveland when you traded away J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert. And in return, what did we get? Lance Thomas. And some second-round picks that probably don't make the roster at any time. All right? Phil, you bring on Noah and D. Rose. I kind of like the move simply because it was probably the best options that you were able to have or was able to obtain. But these are not the answers. Noah's already getting benched, and Derrick Rose, he's not quite himself, but he's not comfortable as of yet. I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled. The only move that I really like is that you re-signed Carmelo. I'm a Melo fan from his days at Syracuse. If you guys don't know, I'm also a Syracuse Orange basketball fan. But that's the only move, securing Carmelo. For me, you can leave. Listen, when you was in Chicago winning 6 championships, Phil, you had nothing to do with player personnel. All you did was coach. You had success, had nothing to do with player personnel. When you got to LA, again, had nothing to do with player personnel. Jerry West did all of that. Even Jerry West helped player personnel when he was in Memphis, when he helped bring Gasol over to LA. Why should we be excited as you have now become operations and you have a say in player personnel and you haven't done anything? With all the success you had as a coach and beating up on other teams and having this arrogance about you, what team wants to work with you? If Chicago didn't want to unload Rose, it wasn't like you enticed them to do it. They were ready to get rid of him. Goes to show you they were. Look what you gave them. Nothing. Nothing. Robin Lopez, Jerry Grant, and Calderon. Calderon's not on the team. Jerry and Grant, in the beginning of the season, he wasn't suiting up once they acquired Michael Carter-Williams. Robin Lopez is going to be there. I mean, he's definitely a doable center, no doubt about it. But when you think about Rose for Lopez, that don't seem to match. So, Phil, do me a favor and opt out. I know you got 12 million reasons to stay, but do me a favor and opt out. Money is not a problem to you. I need somebody not only that has a basketball mind, and not that you don't have one, but I just need someone who has the mind to be a GM or a president of operations and that has a relationship with other people around the league that wouldn't mind doing work with them or doing business with them. That's all we need here. That's all we need. Phil, none of your draft picks are panned out. That's all on you other than Porzingis. And again, that fell into your lap. I know you didn't go into the draft board thinking if we got the first pick, second pick, we was taking Porzingis. I'm sure Okafor was on the table ahead of him. I believe Russell was on the table ahead of him. So Phil, do us a favor. All right? Around the league, OKC, they came out the gate blazing with a nice start, winning most of their games, and now they're falling on hard times. That's something to watch. I believe they started out 6-1, and now they're 6-5. Continue to watch that as they lost last night. You got Brooklyn going into the Lakers tonight. Lakers coming off a nice little road trip, winning 2 out of 3, I believe it is. I'm curious to see how they respond at home with Brooklyn there. Brooklyn just played the Clippers last night, so they play the Lakers tonight. No travel there. Should be an interesting game. I'm looking to see how the little Lakers respond. Right now, I got to give the Lakers credit. They've been playing ball pretty well. So I'm curious to see how they respond. All right. Next up, let's go to the NFL. Big win for the Giants last night. It don't matter how they got it, what's the score. They came away with the win. They made the plays when they needed to make the plays. Big win for the Giants. They stay in pace in that tough NFC East that was once upon a time looked upon as the NFC least. But good win for the Giants. They came up big. Odell Beckham making catches, key plays. Eli Manning doing his best to give it away, but somehow they hold on to manage to keep the win, squeak it out at home against a team that has fallen on hard times, Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know how Marvin Lewis keeps his job at the end of the season. This is a team that many had going to the Super Bowl. I'll say it again. Many had to go into the Super Bowl. And right now, they look like they're headed to maybe a top 12, top 10 draft pick in the first round of next year. Very disappointing season. Only other disappointing team I can think of out there right now are the New York Jets. After coming off a 10-6 season last year, we were looking for the Jets to contend for a playoff, and they're looking like they're going to get a top 5 pick in the draft. So those are the two disappointing teams. But nevertheless, big win for the Giants. Trying to stay pace in that division, stay ahead of Philly, stay ahead of Washington. I don't think they're catching the Cowboys, but I do believe this. This might be the first time in NFL history where two wildcard teams are going to come in the same division in the NFC East and in the AFC West. To me, it looks like it's going to be the Giants and possibly Washington, or Giants and the Eagles. And it looks like it's clearly going to be Denver and Kansas City over in the West. And if Oakland should secure that division as division winner, then one of them will flip-flop with Oakland, and Oakland will get the wild card. So there's no doubt in my mind, I think that's going to be the first time in history we're going to see something like that. That's something to keep an eye on. I've been on this show on record saying that Dak is my early favorite for MVP. I'm going to have to switch it up now. And I'm going into uncharted territory. You know, I'm not going to say I'm the biggest NFL buff out there, but from what I recall, remember, and seen, this may be the first year in NFL history that two players, Dak and Elliott, can be co-MVPs and co-Rookie of the Year in the same year. Let me repeat that. Dak and Elliott, co-MVPs and co-Rookie of the Years in the same season. At this point here, they feed off of one another. I can't really say one will be more successful without the other, but together, they're getting it done. They're getting it done. Dak is spreading the offense out to the receivers. I mean, he don't have no favorite target. If there is one favorite target, I say it's Beasley. But, I mean, he spreads that ball out I mean, this game it could be Dez. Next game it could be Beasley. One game is Terrence Williams. Witten is always reliable and steady. I mean, this last pass game against the Steelers, dumped it off for a screen pass to Elliott, went for 80-plus yards for a touchdown. Man, this guy, Dak, he just comes out, looks over his progression, sees a receiver, throws the ball. Never panics in the pocket. Maybe once in a while he may hold the ball just a bit too long. Other than that, no complaints here. With him doing that, and you got to keep an eye on him and keep a balanced defensive attack because you don't know what receiver he's throwing it to. It's not that he's just throwing it to the hot hand. He's just hitting them all. And while you got a defense that's trying to cover all the receivers out there, or tight ends in this case, who's guarding Elliott? You know, I mean, this guy, I've seen great games. I've seen great plays. Don't get me wrong. Elliott has a long way to go before he gets into the likes of the Dorsets, the Franco Harris, the Earl Campbells, the Walter Paytons, the Barry Sanders, the Adrian Peterson, O.J. Simpson for that matter, Eric Dickerson. He's got a long way to go before he gets into that list or that group. But have you ever seen a running back on 2 plays score for a touchdown and don't get touched? Not even a pull of the jersey. Just phenomenal what we're seeing. You know, and then with him being able to have that ability to rush the ball with so much success, it does kind of free up Dak to do his thing. You know, so how can one be without the other? Right now, you know, they're a two-headed monster, man. And please dig it up. Look it up. Look it up. Tell me a better rookie tandem, quarterback and running back, than these two guys. Listen, I'm an Eagles fan. They're in the same division of the Cowboys. But, man, like I told you guys, I'm a fan of the sport first. I got to give credit where credit is due. These guys are playing ball, man. And right now, the Dallas Cowboys are looking quite Super Bowl-ish, if that's a term. I got to give them credit. Man, if you're a Cowboy fan, you want somebody to kidnap Jerry Jones. Because you know what? I gave it some thought. He said that he's going to ride the hot hand. I ask you guys out there, what is the hot hand? What does hot hand means? Sounds like for the moment. Think about that for a second. For the moment. I don't see this being long term. For the moment. He's going to ride the hot hand for the moment. Well, guess what? Sounds like Dak is on week to week. And that's a shame. That's a shame that not only does he have to face the pressure of opposing defense, he has to face the pressure of this could be his last game if he doesn't get it done. Because of what's going on internally. The hot hand. Man, this guy has been playing remarkable ball since the preseason. Since the preseason. Keep this in mind, guys. When Tony Romo went down, Dallas Cowboys was 1-11 in his absence. They're 8-1. Should be 9-0 if Dez doesn't drop that touchdown, or if Terrence Williams runs out of bounds before the seconds run out on the clock and give the field goal kicker, who can kick it from the parking lot, an opportunity to put it between the goalposts. How does this guy not secure this job for the rest of the season? Why does it have to be said? Jerry Jones said, we're going to ride the hot hand. Well, what happens if the hot hand has a bad game? Is that going to be the last of him? If so, that's sad. That is really sad. Because this guy is playing ball. He is playing ball. Well, we'll talk about the upcoming games in later on in the week. I do want to touch bases in baseball as the winter meetings are shortly coming up. I believe they're about 3 weeks from now. But yesterday they announced the rookie of the years of each league, and in the American League, you had the pitcher Michael Farmer. He won the American League Rookie of the Year. He was 11-7 last year. I gotta tell you something, guys. Must not have been a good year for rookies in the American League. Anytime a pitcher can win the Rookie of the Year award, what 11-7 record, earned run average just over 3. I mean, that to me that doesn't seem phenomenal. From what I understand, he had a stretch early in the season when he was playing lights out, but I mean, 11-7, that just don't sound phenomenal. But on the other hand, in the National League, the 22-year-old shortstop for the Dodgers, he secured the Rookie of the Year. Bat 306, 26 home runs, 72 RBI, and was second in the league with hits with 193. Now, that's a Rookie of the Year for you right there. I agree with that. That's Rookie of the Year. This is a guy that we're probably going to need to pay attention to. He looks like a mold of those shortstops of the old days of a young Alex Rodriguez, maybe an Alan Trammell, Cal Ripken, Troy Tulowitzki, those kind of guys. Maybe Nomar Garcia-Parra. Maybe, I don't know, Derek Jeter never had that pop in his bat, but Derek Jeter did have hits, and he did have a good batting average. So maybe he'll be along the molds of that kind of shortstop. But clearly someone to watch. That's a very impressive rookie season. 22 years old. And keep this in mind, he did this on a team where they was in the thick of things. The Dodgers was definitely a formidable team, playoff team. So he did this in a playoff race, So kudos to him, and this is someone to watch out for. But also I want to make note, I talked about a heavyweight fight last week with Luis Ortiz, but the fight is coming up Saturday night. For my boxing fans out there, this is a must-see fight. I'll be somewhere watching this fight, no doubt in my mind. You got Bone Crusher, Sergey Kovalev, Bone Crusher going up against Andre Ward. Guys, I'm an Andre Ward fan. Well, he's got his work cut out for him this weekend. I actually think Bone Crusher is going to pull off the upset. If Bone Crusher can be disciplined and take his time, he will win this fight. Andre Ward is a technician. He's textbook, fundamental. He's going to pace and space himself. He's definitely, he's not no easy foe. He's going to go out there and it's going to be textbook. But guys, this is going to be a fun one to watch. So we'll talk more about it. Listen, that's going to do it for today's show. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the comment from Carl out of New York that gave me a late text last night during the Knicks win. What you going to say about them? You know I was going to get at him, Carl. But I appreciate that. But see you guys in 24. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace and blessings. And I'll see you soon.